Welcome back once again to cybersecurity expert Stacy Eldridge.
Hey everybody, thanks for having me, Jill. I am so happy to be chatting with you again.
It's funny actually, or kind of ironic. Early on in COVID, I met Stacy, and through my journey of opening my 3 businesses, and actually today's journey of trying to do this Facebook Live, I was using the tools that you provided me. So I'm securely locked up, and takes a couple steps, but they're easy and thoughtful steps. So I appreciate you so much. I'm so grateful to you.
Oh, thank you so much. And I'm so glad you can put all the tools to work to keep all of your businesses and your customers safe.
So I'm wearing my fish pin here because I know you are trying to catch that fish, and you want to catch that fish and help everyone shop safely for the holiday season.
That's right. I want you to focus on, this holly jolly time of year and not worry about those scammers and fraudsters trying to take all of your holiday cash.
Well, I started putting together some questions for you, and then when I posted that we were doing this, I had a couple more come in. So we're going to try to also get to some live questions that we see if we have enough time, but let's get started. So the first question is, how do I know if a website's safe?
Sure. So when you're looking to find out if a website is safe, you want to look for a couple of things. You want to look at that address bar where you're typing in where you're going. After you're there, look for a padlock on the far left side. And then also you want to look for the S behind the HTTP. So you want to look for HTTPS, and then think of that S as being secure. And when you have that S and you have the padlock, that means that nobody can see what's being sent back and forth. So they can't like eavesdrop on your conversation. Think of it that way when you're shopping online.
Well, when I set up Shop Jills, I can't thank you enough for making that secure. And I've come across many sites and people wanting to be a part of it. And when there's no S on it, they have to go back to the drawing board because we want to lock up everything. So thank you again for that. Next question. What is an imposter website? I'm seeing that all over the place. And what does that even mean?
Yeah, so the imposter website is the bad guy trying to lure you in and get you to give away all of your info. So whether it's like your username or your password or your credit card information or personal details. And they make that imposter website look like a real website that you're going to. And you could end up on that website in a couple of different ways. One, you could be sent a phishing email with that imposter website link, and you click on it and you're in a hurry and you don't really look and you just log in or start buying. And then the other way you can end up on an imposter website is if you are trying to go somewhere, say Amazon.com, and you accidentally fat finger it while you're typing, and then you end up on amazon.com. And if somebody's thought of that, they'll have an imposter website set up and it could look just like Amazon upon first glance. And so you could try to log in and then they'll snag your password that way.
Ew, so that actually goes to my question. Does the password I use for my shopping account matter?
All of your passwords matter, Jill. But yes, even your shopping passwords matter because the bad guys are counting on you reusing that password everywhere else. So not just reusing it for shopping websites, but maybe you're using it for your banks and credit cards, and maybe you're even reusing it for work. And so that's why your password matters. And plus, you don't want them to get into we'll just keep picking on Amazon, but you don't want them to get in your Amazon account and then start buying all this stuff for themselves and shipping it to them and, draining your credit cards that way.
Now, there's often websites, well, a lot of websites, it doesn't matter what size the website is, they're encouraging you to save that information, saving your debit card information. So this is a twofold question. One, should you be shopping with your debit card or something else? And two, even if it's a secure site, do you dare save it to make, because, we all want easy peasy these days.
So I'll kind of start with the last question first, just because that's maybe the shortest answer. So I do not recommend saving your credit card to the shopping websites, because when you do that, you are taking on some risk while you're getting that convenience. And so you're giving you over your credit card information to somebody else to store and protect. And, hackers target big companies all the time, and you hear about those data breaches all the time where they get your credit card information. So when you take that convenience on, you're giving up some security and you're relying on somebody else to protect your credit card information. And Jill, you mentioned debit cards. So should you shop with debit cards? I know some people are very like, I just want to use cash. I don't want to use credit cards. But here's the thing, if you end up on that imposter website, or somebody's website is hacked and you use that debit card and the bad guy gets it, he could very quickly drain out your bank account. So you'll have no cash left for the holidays before you even realize what's going on. So that's the risk with the debit card, is just liquidation, no money left.
Wow.
Versus the credit card. And I mean, you could get your money back through the bank, but it's going to take some time and you might need cash on hand. Versus the credit card, you'll have longer to take care of that and not have to pay that bill for those fraudulent charges. And let's see, I think that answers your question.
It really does. So it kind of is steering me into another question, because people are promoting, helping businesses now. And how can you help? If you don't have an immediate buy, they're saying, buy gift cards. Are gift cards secure? What are your thoughts behind that?
So when you're going to buy a gift card, go straight to the source. So go to that retailer and buy the gift card directly from them. You don't want to be buying credit cards off of third-party websites. You don't want to be getting gift cards off of exchange sites, things like that, because you don't know the history of that gift card. If the person who put it on there is honest and there's really money left on that credit card, or on the gift card, versus if you buy it directly from the retailer. And I know sometimes we get like a gift card we don't want to use. And so we're tempted to visit some of those gift card exchange websites after the holidays. And that's a big scam too. I mean, you just don't know who put what up there and if they already spent it, or maybe there's 2 cents left on that $50 gift card. And then so you swap or trade or whatever you do, they got your gift card and now you have nothing.
So we want to go to the source. We don't discourage gift cards, but we're saying go to the source, go right to the source. And if you don't want to use the money, don't go to the gift card exchange. It is what it is. Purchase and support from the business that it was purchased through.
Exactly.
Okay, so now that we're all online shopping, man, am I getting pop-up galores. What is all that about?
Yeah, so as you're shopping and doing things online, your browser is knowing what you're doing, and then you start to get ads. And you can have ads from browsing, and then just different websites present ads to you and pop-ups to you. And there's an interesting thing about these ads and pop-ups that you see for these miscellaneous things, especially the ads. Anyone can place an ad, and they're not vetted. So what that means is the bad guys can be trying to lure you in again to click, and they're offering, maybe that must-have item of the season that's always out, or they're doing deep discounts, whether it's, 90% off in-stock merchandise, or maybe they're saying this gift card is, 75% off, things like that. And then when you click on that ad, you could either download some bad software, some malicious software onto your computer that the bad guy is going to use to do bad things against you, or you could get redirected to that imposter website, that bad website. And so you're not going to like bestbuy.com like you think you are.
Does that apply for when you click on your phone?
It does. You could still get to the bad website, and then the bad guys know more and more people are using their phones. So there is some stuff out there that could wreak havoc on your phone. So don't think just because you're on a phone that you're completely safe and you can just click on whatever. You should get into the habit of being careful and double checking twice before you click, whether you're on a phone, tablet, or computer. You always want to have those good habits so they're always ingrained. So you're always taking the time to look before you click.
So that brings me back to the phone conversation. You know how you can, I kind of feel like I know what you're going to tell us. It's like being scolded by mom. Be safe, be safe. Those wallets, all the phones have these places where you can store your credit card. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, Jill, I think my answer is going to surprise you. I'm actually going to say that things like Apple Pay and Google Pay aren't too bad. They're actually pretty good. And there's a couple different ways in which they're good. So let's kind of get offline for a minute and let's talk about going to those brick and mortar stores, because we still do that once in a while. When you're paying with your mobile phone with those apps, that retailer never gets your credit card information. There's this technical wizardry going on in the background, but you're paying more securely when you use that because they never have your credit card info in hand. And another bonus of using things like Apple Pay, Google Pay, and even PayPal to a certain extent is you are not giving all of those different shops that you're shopping at all of your credit card information. So say you're buying from 5 different websites in one day. If you've used Apple Pay the whole time, you've not given your credit card out to 5 different places. They've interacted with your Apple Pay and again, never got your credit card information along the way. So then it's kind of like you only have to worry about one place and maybe 2, because not everybody takes Google Pay or Apple Pay, but between those 2 and PayPal, you can really reduce your risk by just limiting where you put your credit card to those 3 things.
So I was listening. We have comments here, and I'm just trying to. And I'm not sure if they're questions or comments. So, if there's anything you would like to add in there, Stacy, while I try to see what we're being asked.
As soon as you shop online, if you sign up for an account, you're generally also going to get added to that retailer's email list if you have an account versus checking out as a guest. So some people don't like to create accounts for that reason. But if you shop somewhere over and over again, it's kind of nice to have that account for the order history. So it's not a bad thing necessarily, but you might want to use a different email address for shopping online. Don't use your business email address that you use for conducting business emails, because then it gets onto all these different lists and, unfortunately those lists get into bad hands and then you could start getting more spam. So just something to think about, what email address are you using when you shop too?
Well, we have a question here from Rob about PayPal or other third-party payment processors. I've had some issues with them before. Is there a security concern using them?
So I think, I'm not sure what the specific concern is, but stuff with like PayPal, anybody can be an imposter and try to scam you. So I don't know if it was the fact that somebody was impersonating PayPal or you weren't sure, or with PayPal, with somebody else trying to get into your account. A way to secure PayPal is again to turn on that multi-factor, that 2-factor, and enter a code after you enter your password to give an extra layer of protection so people can't get in there and change things or try to drain your bank or your PayPal balance and send it to their bank. And, since Apple Pay and Google Pay has come out, it's come a long ways. And now I know on your Android devices, you have to have a lock code, that PIN code, and your phone has to lock after a set number of time before you can even set up Google Pay. So like your phone just can't be laying around all the time to use those transactions.
So that would, so we're talking Venmo and all those. We really want to make sure that we use that two-factor. It takes a little bit to get used to, and you know that. I went in kicking and crying, going, "Oh, Stacy, I don't know." And it was just, I had to sit down and learn it, and it's as simple as can be. And I feel so secure.
Well, and Jill, you mentioned Venmo. The last time I checked, Venmo doesn't have that shopper protection like PayPal does. So I encourage people for like shopping transactions to avoid Venmo. Venmo is something you want to do, like say, Jill, I owe you $20 for a movie ticket or something, then I could Venmo you that. But I wouldn't want to do it with buying from a real retailer or someone I don't know.
Rosie says, great info. Thank you, Rosie, for following us. And there's another comment about they've heard that going buying gift cards, they've heard people stealing your credit card number when buying gift cards directly. And I think that's more of an internal process from the store. But again, you can speak to that better than I. I'm not the security expert.
You know, it could happen in a variety of different ways. I mean, whether it's brick and mortar or online, if there's a bad employee taking credit cards and skimming them, you know, they could steal your credit card, that information that way, regardless of what you're purchasing at the time. I know there's always concern about taking those credit cards off the wall at retailers and have they been used? Do people already have that information? So I will say, if you're picking up a physical gift card, take a look on the back. And normally there's like that scratch off part. Make sure that's not been scratched off before you use it or buy it, because that's like kind of the secret key to the gift card, to make sure that nobody else can use it until it's scratched off. And then online with the scams and stuff, you know, it could have been a scammy gift card website that wasn't legit, and that's how they stole it. Or, you know, that website could have been hacked too. And so I think maybe a tip we should tell everybody to do this holiday season, especially, and all year round, is set up alerts for those credit card transactions. So every time something is purchased, make sure you get that text or that email or both. And then as soon as you see that, you can check that and make sure that it was you and get on top of it sooner rather than later if it wasn't you.
Let's go through a list of 5 important things, or even more. You set up the list here for us. What are the things we can do before we start shopping?
Shop with retailers you know, love, and trust. That's why Shop Jill's is great, because you've already sort of vetted everybody, and you got that virtual mall experience where you can go to a bunch of trusted vendors. And then when you're on the website, double check you landed up where you thought you'd be. The spelling is correct. Check for that padlock and that HTTPS for secure. Set up alerts. Let's see. Are we counting that as 5? I kind of gave a bunch with the HTTP.
Yeah, that's okay. Just the key points. We want to make sure that we hit the key
ads. Don't click
on ads. Do you hear that, everyone? Don't click on ads.
And if you saw that amazing thing and you got to have it and you think it's totally legit, just go to that website directly instead of clicking on that ad. Because there are real ads out there. Don't get me wrong. It's hard to tell what's real and what's not. So just visit that website directly instead of clicking.
Pay attention to what you're doing on your phone.
Yep.
And probably importantly is to share this information. You know, if you click and share this, you can help your family and friends and you know, just everyone shopping now. Stacy has an extensive background in security. Her business is Silicon Prairie Cyber Services. I have learned so much from her. I am so grateful for her. Chop Jills wouldn't have come about if it wasn't for you, Stacy. So I thank you so much for helping me. And I love multi-factor authorization. I need to get.
All right.
Yeah, I love it.
Have a convert.
So any parting words?
Just follow me on Facebook and Instagram. I'm doing a countdown to Cyber Monday, so Silicon Prairie Cyber Services. And then I'm also going to continue to do some more tips to keep you safe this holiday season throughout all of December.
We'll be watching your tips. Thank you. Very grateful. Wishing you and your family a happy, healthy Thanksgiving and holiday season.
All right. Thanks so much, Jill. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.